Shalom. Welcome to another video. And as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, or Chwanash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere Akim. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. This is going to be a reading of Job, the 18th chapter, going into the fate of the wicked. Okay, and I'm thinking about making a series. All right, I'm in a new playlist. I'm entitled it "Scriptures That You'll Never Hear." All right, in the Plantation Christian Church, something like that effect, because there's so many, and this is definitely one of them. But this goes into the fate of the wicked. Who knows? Maybe I'll make that playlist. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive right into this. How wretched I'm in the Heavenly Father's will is edifying to the elect. All right, so I'm gonna start off at the top. Okay, it says, "Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, How long will it be ere ye make an end of words? Mark, and afterwards we will speak. Wherefore, for what reason are we counted as beasts and reputed vile in your sight? He teareth himself in his anger, and shall the earth be forsaken for thee? Shall the rock be removed out of his place?" It says, here's where it starts, verse 5. It says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him." And the candle, is the spirit of a man. Let me get that precept. It's in the book of Proverbs. Okay, it tells you that the candle is the spirit of a man, so his soul going to be taken from him. All right, this is let's see, Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 27. Here it is: "The spirit of a man is the candle of Yahweh, searching all the inward parts of the belly." All right, fire. Proverbs 24 and 20: "For there shall be no reward to the evil man; the candle of the wicked shall be put out." Fire. Okay, let's continue on. I gotta remember that one. Proverbs 24:20. That's heat. All right. Anyways, let's continue on. It says, verse 7 now. "And the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare." Let's get a precept on that. Okay, Psalms 35th chapter. That snare is Yahweh Shai for him. Okay, this is Psalms chapter 35. All right, it said that. What did it say? Let me get it back. Let me go back. It said that he is cast into a net by his own feet. All right. Okay, so he set a trap, and that same trap is going to fall upon him. Okay, it tells you Psalms 35 and verse 5. I'm going to read on down to 8. It says, "Let them be as the chaff before the wind, and let the angel of Yahweh chase them. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel of Yahweh persecute them." It's talking about Yahweh Shai. "For without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul." Here's the point: "Let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he hath hid catch himself. Into that very destruction let him fall." Okay, that's what's getting ready to happen, man. Okay, Esau is going to be the same trap that he set. He's going to be caught up in it. All right, it says, "The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him." Whew. Hey, and who is the one that grabbed Esau's heel? Let's go ahead and get that right quick, man. Okay, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 6. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. All right, it says, "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Fire. So, okay, it says the jinn shall take him by the heel. Let's go to that. Let's go to the blue letter. Let's go to that word. Oh, Slacky, I got to pull it up right here. What am I doing? Let's go to that word jinn. All right, because as I'm reading this, I'm edifying myself as well. All right, that word jinn. Okay, Strong's H6341, and I'll get the pronunciation of it in the Paleo Hebrew. I'm gonna show y'all this tool that I like to use. All right, let me see where it's at. It's in here somewhere. Boom, here it is. Cause I'm good with the Paleo Hebrew. I'm not good with the modern day. But you can. This is the Paleo Hebrew converter. Okay. So that is Ga. Okay. Huh. All right. Yep. So Gach. Let's go back. So that's the word. Okay. Unless you know what? Anyways, sometimes the way that it's written on that website throws me off, the Paleo Hebrew, because sometimes it's written a little bit different. That might have been Pach. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'll check. I'll look into it later on. So it says that word for jinn. See what it means. It says a bird trap, a snare. Ooh, this is it right here. Of calamities, plots, source or agent of calamity, figuratively. Who is the agent of calamity that's coming down upon Esau? All right, Yahushai. Okay, it says, as it says in Psalm 72:4, that he shall break the oppressor in pieces. Okay, he's gonna bring calamity upon the Edomites. So that's fire. Okay, and that's he is the head of the children of Israel. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Another precept, and we're waiting on that patiently. Psalms chapter 94. Psalms chapter 94 and verse 12. Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest, O Yahweh, and teachest him out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity until the pit be digged for the wicked. So that pit, all right, that trap is being laid for him right now in the ground. And okay, as it says right here in Job 18:10. Let's continue on. It says, terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. Who's the firstborn of death? It's talking about Yahushai. Let's prove that right quick. Okay, testing my sword, see how sharp it is. Believe this is the precept here. Nah, that ain't it. Let me see. Maybe it's, you know what? Hold up. Come on, man. I know it. All right, I'll type in firstborn. It's in the New Testament. It tells you that he's the firstborn of death. Colossians. Boom. I had the numbers right. Book wrong, though. Colossians 1:18. Here it is. Okay, and he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. So it says the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. Who's the firstborn of death? That's talking about Yahushai. Okay, and it says that he's going to bring down their strength to the earth. Let's get that in Isaiah 63. All right, Isaiah 63 and verse, I'll start from the top of verse 1 for context so you know exactly who it's talking about. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. All right, and we go down to verse 6. Here's the point. Okay, it says, and I will tread down the people in mine anger and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. Okay, so the firstborn of death, Yahushai, shall devour his strength. So he's going up against the king of terrors himself, as we're about to read. It says, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. Whew, fierce. You never hear this in the Plantation Christian Church. It shall dwell in his tabernacle because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. All right, that's the judgment, okay, that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to bring upon the wicked. Psalms 11, verse 5 and 6. Yahweh trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Okay, fire. Verse 6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. Okay, that's on the wicked. Esau, Edom. We'd also get Psalms 21, I believe, verse 9. All right, yep, here it is. It says, thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. Yahweh shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Heat. Literally heat. Okay. All right, let's keep it rolling. Job 18:16. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. This is for the king of Babylon, Esau, Edom. Okay, same thing was said in Isaiah 14. Let's get it. Isaiah 14 and 21. Okay, it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Why? Because they are their fathers. Okay, these Edomites walking around today, they're the same ones that had us in yokes of iron with chains around our neck and shackles on our feet. So the Lord said, prepare for his children. All right, the third and fourth generation, slaughter for the iniquities of their fathers, man. Verse 22, for I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh, power of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith the Lord. Okay, so then they're going to be no more. And King David prayed on that. All right, Psalms 109. Psalms chapter 109 and verse 13. Okay, it says, let his posterity be cut off. That's your children, your seed line. And in the generation following, let their name be blotted out. Let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Lord, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them be before Yahweh continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. Okay, why is he going to do that to Esau? Because that he remembered not to show mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that he might even slay the broken in heart. That's the Edomites. That's what they do. They're the persecutors. Okay? And that's why Obadiah, another one, tells you they're going to be cut off forever. Let's just get some. Yeah, here it is. Obadiah 1 and verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mounts of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, after 1,000 long years of captivity. Okay. Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken. Let's get another one out of the Apocrypha next. Sirach 41. Hey, this is serious. Okay, Sirach chapter 41 and verse, let's see. This is what I'm thinking of. Sirach 41. And, yep, here it is. Verse 8. In fact, I'm going to start at verse 6. I'll start at 5. The children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. Okay, and we're seeing the beginning of that. It says the children will complain of an ungodly father because they should be reproached for his sake. What's one of the main things you see on social media now? Edomites complaining about what they call in reverse racism. Okay, which really is just the judgment of the Lord. All right, it's really people calling them out on a BS. Okay, as a matter of fact, and that's the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Let me get a precept on that. Okay, it tells you, I think it's Job 21 and 31, that the Lord, all right, would tell them about themselves to their face. Yep, let's see. Boom, here it is. Job 21 and 31. Who shall declare his way to his face, and who shall repay him what he hath done? Okay, who's the one declaring his way to his face? The Yahweh Shai, through the mouth of the prophets, man. Okay, and that's in the New Testament that would happen. Okay, the wicked is being revealed. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh shall consume, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Same thing is said in Isaiah 11 chapter. This is the reproach that they're receiving right here. Okay, this is Isaiah 11 and 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth, and he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth. That's why the whole earth is pissed off at the Hebrew Israelites right now. Okay, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. So Esau getting destroyed right now by these scriptures, man. Okay, and it's the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai that's doing it. Sirach 41, once again, Sirach chapter 41 In verse 7, the children will complain of an ungodly father because they should be reproached for his sake. It wasn't us, it was our grandfathers. And they're trying to flip it around now, say, oh, just let bygones be bygones. You guys still talking about that slavery stuff. Hey, what Psalms the 10th chapter says that the wicked would say in their heart that the Most High is not going to require it. I mean, he's not going to hold them accountable. Wrong. Okay? Wrong. That's why all these things are about to happen to you. All right? And you are your forefathers. And they show that. They had the same character. Look at what they doing with the ICE stuff. Okay? Look what they doing with the 1948ers, destroying them Palestinians. Okay? So they're the same people, man. Esau is he's gonna remain Esau to the end. All right, he cannot learn righteousness. It's not possible for him to be fair and just. It's not. He wasn't created for that. Okay, but now in the time where the Lord is getting ready to flip that on him, and it's gonna end with him being completely cut off forever. Ain't gonna be no more Edomites. I know the plantation Christians here, they hate to hear that. I know their soul is hurt right about now. Hey, ain't gonna be no more white wieners for you to put in your mouth. That day is over. Now you know what's like it. Pink. Ain't gonna be no more pink nuts on your chin. I know they hate that. Yeah, that's right. Your slave master, your zaddy, about to be cut off forever, completely. All right, and we're seeing the beginning stages of it. Sirach 41:8. Woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High. For if you increase, it shall be to your destruction. And if you be born, you shall be born to a curse. And if you die, a curse shall be your portion. Don't matter. In other words, no matter where you go, you cannot escape the Heavenly Father, whether in life or death. And you're about to enter into hell. It says, all that are of the earth shall turn to the Salakia. Yeah, that's it. All that are of the earth shall turn to the earth again. So the ungodly shall go from a curse to destruction. Okay. Oh, here's the point. Verse 11. The mourning of men is about their bodies, but an ill name of sinners shall be blotted out. They're going to be cut out from remembrance. Okay. And Yahweh even said, he said, remember, when I bring you to the, let's get the numbers. Let's get Numbers 24. He said, when I bring you to the kingdom, remember all that Amalek did to cut them off from remembrance. Amalek being the big nose, small hat people. There's Numbers 24 and verse 20. It says, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. And if you read in the NLT, it says the greatest of the nations. But his latter end shall be that he perish forever, cut off completely. All right, starting off with the fake JOOs all the way down to the average everyday so-called white American here in Babylon the Great, completely done for, cut off through. All right, there's another one. I believe it's in Genesis. Oh, Salakia. In Genesis, it was told to remember all that Amalek did. All right, and to remember to not forget to cut them off completely. Okay. Oh, here it is. Exodus 17 and 14. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. They're going to be completely wiped out. Okay, gone. Done away with. See if there's any more. I could have swore there was one in Genesis. Oh, here it is. Deuteronomy 25 and 19. Goodness gracious, man. Therefore it shall be when Yahweh thy power hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about. Okay, that's in the kingdom of heaven. In the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it. And here we are, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years later, and we ain't forgot. We know exactly who Amalek is, and that's what's going to happen. Okay. Let's read it again. Let's go back. I just love these scriptures so much. Job 18 and 18. Okay, it says, he shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. Okay, Lucifer, the illuminated one, starting off with the elite banking families. They're in the light right now. That's what that word Lucifer means, a light bearer. They can be chased. They can be driven. Excuse me. Driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. That they may come after him, they that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High. Fire. So this is Job 18th chapter. Okay, this is the judgment of the wicked. Esau, Edom, starting off with Amalek, all the way on down to the rest of the dukes of Edom. This is what's going to happen. Okay, they're going to be completely cut off. Precepts that you're never going to hear in the Plantation Christian Church. They're never going to bring this out. You ain't never heard nothing like this before. But us, the Hebrew Israelites, have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is what's going to happen, though. Okay, and we're approaching that time. So, anyways, I'm going to close it out there. Heavenly Father's will is edifying as always. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachodash. And until next time, Shalom and abide b'ball.